Well, Senator Elizabeth Warren has become the first big-name Democrat to join the 2020 presidential race officially. Warren's announcement comes despite the widespread ridicule she received for releasing a video touting her virtually non-existent American Indian heritage.
Now, the president likes to call my mom a liar. What do the facts say?
The facts suggest that you absolutely have a Native American ancestor in your pedigree.
I'm not enrolled in a tribe, and only tribes determine tribal citizenship. I understand and respect that distinction, but my family history is my family history.
Really one of the great pieces of video ever. Up there with Dukakis in the tank. That was, of course, Elizabeth Warren bragging about having less than 1% American Indian heritage, enough to get a tenured position at Harvard, but not enough to pass the smell test. She'll need more than that to become president. Who exactly would be voting for her? Who's her constituency? Tammy Bruce is a radio host, president of Independent Women's Voice. She joins us tonight.
Hey,
Tammy, thanks very much for coming on. Who's she speaking to in her announcement? Does she have a sight picture of who Elizabeth Warren voters might be?
Well, she seems to be trying to channel Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So I think she believes that certainly she's running as a progressive. She's targeting young people, the individuals she imagines in 2020 and perhaps even 2024 deciding. But this is the problem with that. The video, the Instagram post of her drinking the beer has been widely mocked because it clearly seems like a person trying very hard to not look like they're trying very hard, who's pretending to not be a faker. And look, when Ocasio-Cortez, look, she's done videos of where she's talking to people and she's making her dinner. That's really her, right? The key for politics, like Trump is really himself. This is a new concept for politicians, and they think it's like a construct, but it's not. And Americans can tell when, and especially young people can tell when somebody's trying to fool them. But it was also very much like the Hillary, I've got hot sauce in my purse moment. Do you remember that? When she was when she was doing a radio show and thinking like that was the thing in which you can connect with African Americans in this country, obviously patronizing and insulting to many people. Her husband comes by and she thanks him for being there. Well, you know, it's his house and his kitchen too. So it was a very strange event, but it shows you that she really doesn't quite know how to appeal to people as an individual, as herself. But I would also assert, Tucker, that, all kidding aside, that I think she's actually running to split the Bernie Sanders vote. I think she knows she's not going to be the nominee, but what she is doing for someone is splitting that progressive vote that is on the left. And so the question becomes, who is she helping? And we might see this in the months to come. And, of course, she expects some favors to be done in the future. But that's what's happening here. So all Bernie Sanders supporters, who would include someone like Ms. Ocasio-Cortez and her fans, should be doubly insulted that she's trying to co-opt that kind of style and message.
Interesting. I'm not clever enough to have thought of that, but that sounds right. Ocasio-Cortez, we should note, being too young to run for president constitutionally. Who do you think it is that Elizabeth Warren might be helping secretly in this race?
Well, look, you have to think about, of course, Bernie Sanders' appeal, very popular among millennials, the West Coast of the United States. I think Kamala Harris might think that bloc might be a threat to her bloc of that liberal West Coast framework. So it should be interesting. I think it'll become apparent when it comes to who ends up getting chummy in the new Senate. So we'll watch for that. And young people are smart enough to recognize when somebody's trying to take them to the cleaners and negate their vote. Because, of course, the Democrats and some Republicans have been trying to negate the last presidential election.
Exactly.
And I think Americans are tired of this kind of nonsense.
Yeah, falseness. It's like halitosis. You smell it instantly. It's totally
exactly.
Right. Tammy Bruce, great to see you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for having me.